everybody. I'm going to try something today that probably DIYers don't do, and I'm going to give it a shot. I got some leather from a company called L Seat in England. I have a 95 Jaguar XJS Cabriolet, and the seats are wasted. So what I want to do is try to install it. And there are no instructions. It comes with no instructions. There's nothing online about this. So we'll see how it goes. Good luck for me. 4 of these T40 star bitty things to take out first to get the seat out. So we'll do that. And also there's ground wire that is just bolted on right there. So here's the seat out. It's pretty wasted, but you get that with the convertibles. So I'm going to start disassembling it. And this is the good seat, the passenger seat. The driver's seat is really wasted. Got the seat out. Wasn't that bad. But this Torx bolt that you will see right here has to come out. There's 4 of them. And they line up with this particular hole right here. And unfortunately, that's not lined up right now. It's this little one. And forget that. Because that's not going to work. So I made this scratch on the side of this thing right here, and that's in line with this top one. So I have to index the seat up the center of this hole to that, and then they'll line up. We'll see how that works. So that was a success. As you can see, there's the Torx screw still there. The rack is off. It is over in another part. Needs to be cleaned up. Next is to be taking off this and getting this off of here with this tighten tie right here, and getting around and then going to this part in here and releasing from this rib these things. That was pretty easy, came right apart. Now here we go with the rest. 2 rows of hog rings I took off. As you can see here, there's this row and that row. This row right here, which is already removed from here, will allow the seat to come out. And then I can remove that, because I believe, being this is a 3-piece seat, once this is out, the sides have to be done before the center goes in. Center goes in afterward. So I'm going to take these out and pop it out, I think. That did pop right out. So the next part is to take the leather off the sides here and the leather off of that and see what the foam looks like. So this is what you have. You have the seat base frame and these things that pop on right over this metal bar. You can see the bar on this side. There's 2 of them. Quick comparison. Again, these hog rings here have to come off to get the leather off. This is the replacement here. And you can see this felt and this piping right here. Well, that's all right here. So once this goes back on, it gets hog ringed onto here. And of course these bottom things down here hook onto the frame, as these have the same thing going on. There is the seat off. There's the old leather on the floor over there. This is the new stuff from L Seat that's going to be going on there. Very little adhesive is used, by the way, and it's just on the frame, around on the sides, a little bit near this area back here, which is the stop for when you put the back up. So we'll begin that after we tackle the rear back of the seat. The back of the seat has this plastic thing, which I took off, and don't let it bother you. Once you take out the 4 screws, it's just glued there. So kind of pry it loose that way and it'll come right off. I have no idea what all this stuff is in here, but I don't care. I'm doing the leather part. But you can see all the clippies. See all these clippies that are on there? That's how this baby is held on. An interesting thing of note here, when you get all those clips off, you flip it over here and they've got a mini bungee that is connected here. You got to flip the thing over and there's a hog ring you have to disconnect. And there it is. You have to undo that hog ring. You can kind of see it up here too. You see that one is out. And this is the new back of the new leather. I fed this wire through to feed through the slot, but as you can see with the back of this one, this bungee that's still in here, there are cutouts. You can see there's 4 cutouts, and there's no cutouts on this L seat at all, nowhere. So I think I got to take scissors and make little cutouts, at least 3 of them. This shows that the going back on the skin from L seat. Not too sure what to do with these things right here, but it's probably what I'll just put a tie in there and tie them down. I think they're handles to pull it tight. Well, back of the seat is done. Just reverse engineered everything and got it in there. It's a little struggle, but that's the way it works. Now we have the middle piece, as these are modules, little piece of the seat itself. So we'll get that hooked up and then put the frame, which is over here. Here's the frame. We'll put those things on the foam and get them tied down, and then put the metal piece in, and then put the seat back together. Yay. So in the reinstallation, you can see that the middle part here is in. It is hooked up here, and it's got to be hooked on down here, and this is what I'm dealing with. This rib right here is going to go all the way up here. So those are all hogged on. Looks like there's 5 on each side. So now we move on to the base and put these things on. So here's the base, pretty easy to put on. You can see right here, it just clips on there, and then those clip here. Just going to make sure you got it, located properly. And so you would then take and flip the thing over, and that's how it looks. But I have dry fitted the middle, and I think I have something that could be catastrophic, and I'll show that now. Figured it out. Got the back clipped on first. Actually laid this out this way, clipped it on, folded it underneath, and when you come up to the front, you can push down on all this because it's squishy, and it gave me enough throw to be able to get this one in. So that's how that one works. Now these sides here have to be brought up, and they're going to be hog ringed over here, just like the original. Probably wondering why I'm out here. Well, the sun does wonders for leather, and I have these stragglers, these thingies that have to be dealt with, and they're clipped. A little bit of glue, that spray adhesive stuff, 3M, it works really good. So that's what I'm doing right now. So this is it with the seat all tucked in. I am not adverse to putting in a self-tapper where it won't interfere. I have a couple of those in there, only because this thing isn't cut exactly right. But I got some clippies back in which belong in there. Not all of them, I got a few left over, but next step is the bottom, or actually putting the back onto this base. So for the reinstallation of this rubber mat, of course it has hooks on it, you can see that. Well, they hook into this top one right here. You can see it runs right along like that. This is the old one, and you see the old one has holes in it. And as it wrapped around it, the bottom piece has holes in it too. So I'm going to venture to find the middle one, line it up, and measure off of that to get the other holes. The sides should be fine, they're just right here. Give that a shot. Well, here it is installed. You can see I made the holes there, and that was fine. The side, a couple up here. These were kind of a pain, as you can see. That's all pretty well anchored. This side, not very well anchored. I mean the leather, the rubber thing's fine. So I had to do some gluing there. Not a big fan of the glue, but I don't think it'll last forever. But I'll leave that clamp on it for a few hours, and I got to clean the bottom rack so I can put on the part that lets this thing go backwards and forwards. That's next. Well, you can see that the bolts are in, at least those two. And I found out an issue. I had a bolt stuck in the track in there and couldn't get it out. Didn't know why it didn't come right out when I took it out. I realized upon bolting this rail down to the seat, you line up these holes right here, and you try to then go ahead and put, and the head doesn't fit. And there's also a washer underneath there. So what you have to do is put the bottom frame in the car, plug it in, index it to expose. I did the rear ones first. They're hidden back here. And then you take the whole seat and you put it in the car, plug it in, index it so then these are exposed, so then you can put in these bolts. So that's kind of chinky. But the bottom line is, it's finished. I'll show you. So there it is. It is done. I've had it in the car. It still works. The back is pretty straight up and down. That's why there's a crack there. But seems to be all right. I think this one particular rail right here, if you look at the front of it, seems to be leaning a little bit. And if I'd known that, the bar underneath there must be bent a little. I'm not going to worry about it. But when I take out the driver's seat, I'm certainly going to be conscious of that in case I need to bend it back, which would be no surprise. Just so you know, the back is the original back. And you can see the color's a little bit off, but I don't care. I imagine I could have matched it up better, but quite frankly, I really like this with the red stitching. Again, it was about $350 for 2 front seats, and there's also a cover for the center console top, although I don't think it's going to work because it doesn't seem to be the right shape, but who knows, might be able to stretch it with some heat. I'll show you what the front seat looks like. And this shows you just how bad the driver's seat became. Thank God for seat covers, but this is what it's been hiding. Look forward to this transformation, now that I know how to do it a little bit. So, got to the point where I was able to install the other front seat. Had a problem with the control module underneath the seat. It decided to quit, so the seat would not index front or back. Actually had to send the car out to get that repaired. That cost $1,800, unexpected. But the leather work and the reupholstering in the front is done. Back still has to be done, and that leather from L Seat is on order as I speak, and I look forward to getting it done. But I think it came out okay, so I'll show you. Let's take a look. That's what it looks like. All new reupholstery. And like I say, the front is done. Center armrest looks pretty good, but really that piece is a little small. They could have cut it a little bit larger for better pinning, but that 3M spray adhesive came in handy. Be on the lookout for the back seat. We'll be doing that shortly.